You should have stopped them. You're the oldest. You should have more sense. That was my mother. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, my brother Michael had done something, and I was getting the blame. Again. Michael had curly blonde hair and an angelic smile. Mothers melted before him. All through our childhood, he was the lucky one. At the dentist, I would get fillings. He would get a lollipop. For haircuts, I had to endure my father's electric easy clipper. My mother took Michael to a real barber's. As altar servers, weddings were the holy grail. You got paid for serving at a wedding. In 6 long years, I served one solitary wedding. Michael got 57. And his luck continued through college and into adulthood. He would study only half the topics for his law exams. They would all come up. When he crashed into another solicitor's car in the Brown Thomas car park, instead of being sued by her, he ended up marrying her. Last year, going to Canada together, our flight was overbooked. I was bumped off the flight. He was bumped up to first class. Then last spring, he invited me to go fly fishing for salmon on Loch Corrib with himself and another solicitor, Paddy Malloy. Now, I'd never been fly fishing, but I liked the idea of it. Robert Redford made a film about fly fishing. There is something poetic about the delicate casting, the subtle dancing battle of strategy between man and fish. It turns out fly fishing with 2 solicitors is less Robert Redford and more Rumpole of the Bailey. They start by picking the right fly. Mike, your fly collection has wintered rather well. Guilty as charged, Paddy. I believe blue dabblers are a sine qua non this time of year. Au contraire, Connemara blacks have established a greater prima facie claim. Duly noted, you know I love a good precedent. And on, and on, and on they went. Then it was my turn. What about my fly? Take the Reverend Mother. No discussion, no legal allusions. They were clearly giving me a dud. It got worse. Here's your rod. What's this? It's a dapping rod. You can't have 3 people in a boat fly fishing. Now, if fly fishing is poetry, dapping is dull, lifeless prose. When dapping, you hold the rod like this, so the fly dangles just above the water. And that's it. Picture the scene on the lake that day. The 2 amigos up the front, artfully looping their lines over and back, looking for the perfect cast. And me, way down the back in steerage. Dapping. Robert Redford never made a film about dapping. But then, 1 hour in, something happened. My rod bent over and my line ran out. I think I've caught something. You what? What do I do? There followed 20 of the longest minutes of my life. The 2 solicitors veered from helping back to sheer horror that the lowly novice dapper and the Reverend Mother were about to gazump them. Eventually, I pulled in a very very, very big salmon. It was a beauty. Michael and Paddy tried to look pleased from it. It didn't matter. I was pleased enough for all of us. They kept me out there for another 4 hours. They tried every fly in the box. The bloody butcher, the fiery octopus, the headless mailman, the Bishop Brown, the golden gobbler, the desperate dangler. They even tried a couple of Reverend Mothers. Nothing. Nada. Not even a sniff. Back on shore, my salmon weighed in at 26 pounds, 5.5 ounces. In technical fishing terms, that's a whopper. Apparently, you could spend your whole life fishing and never catch a salmon that big. That's why my photo with my salmon now hangs on the wall of the Angler's Rest pub in Clonbur. And even better, either side of me stand the two amigos, trying and failing to look happy for me. And even better still, in Clonbur, Michael is now known as the brother of the lucky man who caught that enormous salmon. Missing out on those 56 weddings doesn't seem like such a big deal anymore. Or as my legal friends might say, that day was a belated but very satisfactory quid pro quo. Madam Toastmaster.